Hi everyone, it's me, Sabrina, and this is the second episode or the second video of TransTalk. And before we start the video, just a general disclaimer, as said in the previous video, I am not a licensed professional, nor am I the trans guru or all-knowing regarding everything trans. I am just sharing my experiences, information, tips that I learn. I do want to also start off this video by amending something that I said in the last video. In the last video, I had said that I wanted to do these videos to help other trans individuals, um, like myself, who maybe have just started their journeys, those who haven't come out yet, or, even if you're in the middle of your journey, you know. But what I failed to mention was that I also want to do these videos to help allies, to, parents, friends, coworkers. I know personally I have a lot of friends, even my family, they have a lot of questions that they're not quite sure how to ask. So maybe these videos can help our allies as well, maybe understand us a little bit better and to be a better ally, or to maybe even just understand a little bit better. Um, Having said that, this video is a bit on the heavier side. Um, One of the questions that I get asked frequently is, why now? After all this time, why now? And I'm sure that almost every trans individual out there gets asked this question. And again, while I can't speak for other trans people, and I can only speak for myself, the answer for me is very simple: fear. Um, Fear is a more powerful deterrent than a lot of people think it is. Um, you have the people out there that are, oh, just get over it, or just do it. Don't be so scared. And it's so much easier said than done. Trust me. Um, Coming out, no matter what it is, whether you're coming out as trans, whether you're coming out as LGBTQ plus, whether you're coming out as polyamorous, or you know sharing a kink or a fetish, like coming out about anything can be a very scary experience. And those that don't have to come out don't really fully understand how scary that is. Um, I grew up in a very close-minded small town. And from a young age, 5, 6, I always identified as a woman. But I didn't know what the term for that was. I grew up thinking something's wrong with me, or I'm a freak. I didn't know the terms transgendered. I didn't know, gender dysphoria, body dysphoria. I didn't know any of those terms. I assumed that I was the only one in the world that felt this way. But I was so scared to tell anybody. Um, I come from a very loving, very progressive, and open-minded family. You know, and knowing now, if I would have known what I know now, I probably would have had the courage to come out much sooner. But, again, that was 90s, early 2000s, it it was horrible. It was horrible. And I remember Oh, I remember so many incidences. Um, like I remember putting my sister's clothes on, makeup. I loved doing stuff like that. But, I didn't have the guts to come out and say, I'm female. I'm a girl. I was too scared. I was scared that I was going to be rejected. I was scared that my family wasn't going to love me anymore. I was scared of, how outside people would treat me. I mean, I was already getting bullied every day at school for being the girly girl boy, you know, add that add that to it and, you know, yeah, no. It wasn't easy. Um I I hated my body. I hated myself for most of my life. I didn't like looking in the mirror. I didn't like the spotlight. I preferred to be in the shadows. Um, I didn't like to be seen. I was a really smart kid, and I really smart, but I hated that I didn't have the comfortability to showcase that. Because that would bring attention to me, and I didn't want that. I just wanted to fade. Just not be bullied, not be a focal point for the students, the bullying. I just didn't. It was too much. Um, I developed depression when I was in middle school. Um, I'm thinking 5 or 6th grade, and the school actually got me a therapist for me to see. Um, and I have seen a therapist for most of my life. Like I said, started in middle school. I had all these feelings inside, things that I couldn't express. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't live my life. I couldn't be happy. I wasn't happy. Um, I remember, Christmas time getting boys' clothes while my sisters got girls' clothes. And, like, I hated it. I hated being called by my boy name. I hated being referred to as he and him. I hated that I had to conform to societal norms to fit in or to be accepted. I um I tried 3 times to take my own life, and each time some divine power uh, stepped in. That's not something I want anyone to have to ever go through. Um, for those who don't know, the suicide rate for trans individuals is the highest suicide group. Um, and I think whatever deity or energy, cosmic energy that stopped me um, those 3 times. Not everyone's that lucky. Not everyone gets a second, or in my case, a fourth chance. Um, and wow, I just really don't want anyone to have to get to that point where they feel like that is the only option they have, because it's not. It's not. Like, I know this is going to sound easier said than done, but you can overcome your fear. There are so many support groups out there. There's support groups on Facebook. I am a member of several trans groups on Facebook myself. Um, there are centers out there. There's the suicide hotline. You know, all hope isn't lost. And if you're a parent of a trans child, I need you to know that nothing about your child is different. They're still your child. They just were born in the wrong body. You didn't mess up anywhere. You didn't do anything wrong. It's who they are. Plain and simple. It is who they are. Friends, coworkers. If a friend or a coworker comes out to you, or just comes out in general, again, nothing about that person changed. Their name, maybe. Um, if they decide to go the hormone route, their body and their looks will change. But who they are as a person, that stays the same. I'm still the same person that I was before I transitioned, before I started my journey. Nothing about me, the important stuff about who a person is, like, why you should love someone, that stuff doesn't change. It's the superficial stuff. It's, a name change, or, like I said, their body. And that's if they decide to go that route. Not every trans person goes on hormones. Um, if you truly love someone, if you truly love your child, your friend, your coworker, your brother, sister, your sibling, you know, be there for them, support them. And, if they haven't come out yet, just let them know that no matter what, you'll always be there for them. Let them know that, you support them, because that's one of the most important things. I lived in fear for so long, thinking that I wasn't going to be loved and accepted, and that I could never be who I was. And that's not living. It's not. Um, I remember in high school, I had actually, very briefly, overcame my fear. And at the time, I was living with family friends. They were my guardians. And I believe it was the summer before my junior year. And they took me, I overcame my fear, and I told them, I'm a girl. I want to be a girl. I've always felt like I've been a girl. I've always known that I was a girl. So they took me into the school. We had a meeting with the guidance counselor, and we explained everything to her. And she assured us that that wasn't going to be an issue. And we had told her the name that I had chosen at that point, and she again reassured us that there wasn't going to be any issues. And then the first day of school came. And for 4 months, all I had were issues. On top of the kids bullying me, I had teachers and the principal bullying me. I was in the principal's office literally every other day. You're disrupting class. You can't use the girls' bathroom. You can't use the girls' locker room. We're not calling you by this name. You can't wear that. Like, basically, I was harassed. And I dealt with that for about 3 to 4 months. and I just got tired. So I ran back in that closet, I slammed that door shut, and I nailed it. I was like, nope, nope, I was wrong. I can't do this. I'm not a woman, I'm just gay. I really wish that I had stuck to my gun. I really wish that I would have had the strength and the courage to continue what I started then. My life would be a lot different. I would not have tried to to end it. I would not have been miserable for a majority of my life. I It was easier for me to come out of the gay closet than it was the trans closet, because while I didn't know anything about trans at that time, I knew about gay people. I knew about gay men, I knew about lesbians, bisexuals, and even though I always felt like a woman, I felt like I had to identify as a gay man because I couldn't be that woman. And I always felt like that I was. And everybody, I mean, even before I officially announced it, I was that very feminine, very girly, you know, child. So everybody already knew that I liked men. Um, but they didn't know anything else. And so whenever I finally came out of, like I said, that gay closet, it still felt weird telling people I'm gay, because in my mind, I'm thinking I don't like women. So, I mean, I'm not really gay then. But because I had the body of a boy, I must be gay. So it was just easier to tell people that I was gay. But I'm not. Sorry, guys. Told you it was a heavy topic. Um, the worst thing a person can experience is the feeling of hopelessness. It is not being able to be our true selves. A lot of people wear a mask. You know, when people meet me before I transition, I would always have a smile on my face. I always like making people laugh because that is who I am internally. That is who I am as a person. I do like making people laugh. I like to laugh. When they say that laughter is good for the soul, they're not joking. I really I like I'm a people person generally. I mean, I have my moments where I just don't want to be around anybody, but I think everybody has those moments. But I liked having a smile on my face, and no one knew. No one that wasn't family knew that I suffered with depression, that I was wearing a mask. I was smiling on the outside, but inside I was drowning. I was dying. And I was suffocating myself because I did not have the courage to be who I truly was and am. About 5 months ago, 6 months ago, probably now, I got tired of fighting. I got tired of hating myself. I got tired of pretending to be someone that I wasn't. And I think, like, I was angry. I was angry that here I am, I don't want to say halfway through my life, but here I am a good bit into my life, and no one has got to know the true me, the real me. I wasted so much of my life being someone that I wasn't. And for other people, not even for myself, for other people, you know, and I think I just had enough. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm doing this. I'm finally fucking doing this. Excuse my language. And I came out, and this time I slammed that door shut and I nailed it from the outside. It is impenetrable. I'm not going back. And since I have come out, I have been the happiest that I've ever been. I I'm doing these videos, which I would not have done before. I look at myself in the mirror now, which again I didn't do before. I hated the way that I looked. I hated just looking at myself and seeing not me, you know. And I'm going on 3 months on hormones, and while the changes are subtle, I'm seeing the woman that has always been there. I'm seeing the woman that I am. I'm not ashamed of my body anymore. Um, Now when people see me with a smile on my face, it's a genuine smile. I'm ecstatic. Like I'm like it feels like this giant weight has been lifted off of my shoulders, and I can breathe easier. I don't have to filter myself anymore. I don't have to stop and, remind myself to use the correct pronouns in front of people, which is something that I did before. I would stop and be like, I have fur babies, I've got cats. And if people were around, I would stop. I would have to stop myself and say, Daddy loves you. And now I don't have to do that. It just flows naturally. Mommy loves you. She, her, you know, I don't have to worry. Um, you know, I've always been told that I walk like a woman. And of course, now people know why. But I would try to, in my mind, like I had to change my mannerisms. I had to make sure that I wasn't walking like a woman, that I maybe walked a little bit more like a man. And I talk with my hands, I talk with my body. I'm very, um, I, the word slips my mind right now, but I'm very, I, very active when I am talking and explaining, but I was always told men don't do that. So I had to stop doing that. I had to stop talking with my hands, as my mom put it. I had to talk in a deeper voice. I had to be everything that I wasn't. And it was exhausting. Again, I need to say that nothing about us, the important stuff about us, does not change. Everything that changes is the superficial stuff. But the meat of who someone is, their soul, stays the same. It's the person that you fell in love with. It's the person you carried in your womb for 9 months. It is your best friend. It's your best employee, your favorite coworker. Who somebody is doesn't change because they come out as trans. And those of you that are scared, please trust me when I say that after you battle that fear, if you just kick your fear's ass, you'll be so much happy. It'll be so worth it. As I've already stated, I got blessed with a very loving and open-minded family. Yes, they do struggle with my name. Yes, they do struggle with using the correct pronouns. But they accept me. They still love me, just as they did before. But if you happen to be in that situation where your family's not as open-minded or as accepting, there are people out there that are. Sometimes family's not blood. People get to say that we don't get to choose our family, but yeah, actually we can. We can choose to have the people that we want in our lives. Yes, it sucks when your biological family doesn't accept you. But being true to who you are is more crucial to one's health. I for a long time, living as a gay man, I sought validation from other people, from other men. I I hated my body so much that if I tried to convince myself that if other men liked my body, then everything would be okay. If other men were attracted to me, then everything would be okay. And no matter how many men I met, no matter how happy I thought I was, it wasn't enough. Nothing was ever enough. I craved something that nobody else could give me. I validate myself. I make myself happy. I don't need that from someone else. Now, I've accepted, I've come to terms with who I am. And, nobody else validates us. And that's something that it took me a long time to realize, is that the only person that can validate me or make me feel inferior is myself. The only one stopping me from pursuing my dreams is myself. And before someone else can love me, I have to love me. And before I can be there for someone else, I have to be there for myself. I have to make sure that I am whole and complete before trying to take care of somebody else. And that is another lesson that I took me forever to learn. If you're questioning, if you know, if you are scared, reach out. Please. Please, please, please reach out. And contact the many sources of information that we have. Like I said, Facebook. Facebook. I'm part of a group called Trans People and the Allies Who Support Them. There's one that's called Trans. There's Trans Makeup, Trans Dating. Um, there are there's the Mazzoni Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Um, there are resources. You know, don't feel like that you're trapped and you don't have any other way out, please. And like I said, parents, friends, everyone, if you have someone in your life that is trans, you know, I understand. I understand needing that source of information as well. And you know, the trans people and the allies who support them on Facebook is a phenomenal group because it's everyone. It's, there's trans men, there's trans women, there's non-binary, and then there's parents, there's spouses, there's children, relatives, and they ask questions that, we answer for each other. You know, I remember this one post that a mother was saying that she thought that her child was trans. And, how does she let her child know that she loves and supports them in whatever they decide? And the overwhelming responses that this parent got was just phenomenal, and it was not just trans people giving her this advice, it was other parents. You know, you're not alone. You know, no one is truly alone, even though sometimes it feels that way. And like I said, you know, coming out, everyone has something. Like I said, it doesn't have to be that you're trans. It could be that you're LGBTQ plus. It could be that you love more than one person. It could be that, you know, you're afraid of something. That's coming out too. Like, fun little fact, I am scared of snakes. Terrified. No, I mean, that's not something that as big as being trans, and it's not a really big secret. So I guess, you know, I did my coming out with that. And that was so much easier. But, excuse me, guys. Like, fear. Once you can get over fear of something, you can do it. I believe in you. Other people do too. And please, like I said, if you need help, if you need support, please reach out. I In the next several videos, I will start posting links to valuable sources of information and resources. Um, and please, if anybody has any questions or just needs to reach out, comment. Comment under this post. I will set up a email address. If anyone just needs to talk or just needs a friend. But that is it for this video. And be brave, be kind, be yourself. You guys have a great day.